Hi. Welcome to the garage. Today I'm going to be taking apart a starter. Uh, let me show you what I got. Okay, what we have here is a typical solenoid-driven starter. Solenoid, motor assembly. You can see downside there. It's the pinion. Okay, pinion connects to the crankshaft, spins the motor over. This would be the big fat B line, the battery line that comes in. This would be the M line. M line goes into the motor housing, and then this would be the S line over here. Okay, so this goes to the ignition switch. 12 volts here, big fat battery positive here, heavy duty amperage, cranks it over. So let's look at this for, just a minute. I'm going to take some stuff apart. I'm going to have a look and see what's inside. First thing I'm going to take apart is I'm going to take the solenoid off. It's just these two screws up here. Now there is a big return spring behind here, so we do need to be careful. I also have to take off, disconnect the M line that goes down from the solenoid into the motor housing. And this is actually a pretty old starter, although it still has all the same parts as a newer one. So now that I got this loose, push it in, big return spring on this guy, quarter turn, that comes off. So here's my solenoid, and then here is my return spring. And if I look, this is my plunger, and that is what throws the pinion out so that it engages with the ring gear that's attached to the motor. Okay? So when this guy energizes, there's two big magnetic coils inside here, the pull-in and the hold-in winding, that pulls this plunger, overcomes this spring pressure, and then back inside there you can actually see there's a button. That connects between the M line, goes down to the motor housing, and the B line. So let's have a fast look and see what that's about. Come on. Take that off, and then these two studs are actually different sizes. Let me take this rear cover off. Now this rear cover is just plastic. It's actually Bakelite. So this stuff is actually kind of brittle. So with age, we do need to be careful with this. We do not want to damage this when we go to pull the starter out. Okay, so now I got this off back here. Come on. You can see my B line is in the wrong spot, but my B line, all that is just a stud. So this comes from the big heavy battery. Big battery cable comes down. This is 12 volts. This is my S line. See it? My S line is connected to my button. This is my button that was in back of here. Okay? So when this guy gets pushed up, it contacts the M line and this B line that comes in. So that's what gives it the heavy duty current. This is the heavy duty switch contact. These guys, they spin, and you can see there's this is a pretty old starter. There's wear around the edge right here. That's because this guy should spin. If this gets gummed up and it stops spinning, it always hits in the same spot, and this is where you get the dead spot in the starter where it just kind of goes click, 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 click. Okay? Because that clicky here is the solenoid engaging and throwing the pinion out. But since no current's getting down to the M line going into the motor housing, heavy duty amperage doesn't do anything. Okay, so let's have a look. See, I'm going to pull, let's see, I'm going to pull this guy out. It's my backing plate. It's actually a bronze bushing in there. I'm going to stand this thing up on end so you can see what's inside. You can see there are 4 brushes. There's 2 here, and there's 2 here. This one and this one are ground brushes. Here's my big fat, M line coming into my motor housing. Then if I want to separate this a little further, this case comes off, and I got to disengage it from my plunger. So here's my plunger. There's my shift fork. Okay, so when the solenoid engages, it pulls this in, and that's what pushes out on this guy right here. So that's what throws the pinion out. We okay? So look, I take this guy, pull this out. Here's my armature. These sliding contacts right here, I don't know if you can see it, it's a segmented commutator. So the brushes ride on here. And then here are my windings. There's a big heavy, this thing's heavy, laminate iron core. And then these wires go through here. They don't connect to here. I mean, they don't connect to the iron laminate. These wires are insulated. You can actually see little tiny pieces of paper in there. Actually, it's not paper, it's plastic or bakelite or something that they pour in here, and then they put the wire in so it doesn't contact the iron frame. And then they actually have, you can see where it's been damaged. It's shiny. This yellow stuff is actually insulation that stops it from shorting out. So we have this guy, and then we also have a overrunning clutch. It's a one-way clutch. It spins one way and not the other. That way, if you start the engine and you continue to hold the key in to start, the engine, the crank, the ring gear is going to spin a lot faster due to engine RPM, and that's going to spin this gear, this pinion gear, really, really fast. So it would damage something. So we don't want to do that. So that's why it has a one-way clutch, and it also makes a hell of a lot of noise when that happens. So inside this motor housing, you can also see we have field coils. So these guys are attached directly to my M line. M line coming in goes right to my field coils. This is what gives it that magnetic field that the armature pushes against. So, recap. Pinion gear, one-way clutch. There's a spring right here so that it engages into the ring gear. They're actually beveled. Armature, many windings, very low resistance, high amperage. That's attached to this. This is the sliding contact. The brush is attached to this. This is the commutator. So the brushes are attached to the commutator. They're also attached, 2 of them are ground brushes, 2 of them are positive brushes. We've got the M line that comes in, goes to the field coils as well. These magnetic field, this becomes magnetic, right? That's what causes the motor to move when we dump high amperage through the motor housing. The heavy duty amperage comes through my solenoid. Solenoid's got an S line that energizes a hold-in and a pull-in winding inside here, electromagnets. That's what pulls in the plunger. It's attached to the shift fork. That's what throws the pinion out. Got it? M line, B line, S line. Yeah? Okay, go back and watch it again. You'll get it.